Welcome guys to another preview review. We've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to motor on through this pretty quickly. We're going to obviously discuss the Leeds game and then we'll take it and we'll have a little chat about Birmingham. So, as you know, I'm Mr. Fox. That's Roberto on camera. Are you, Rob?
You alright?
Yes, I'm not bad. I've got the flu. I don't want any sympathy or any tears. If anybody wants to write in or with just a little message of sympathy, I will take it. Maybe a Beecham's if anyone's passing. But let's break this game down. So Leeds United, positive result. I don't think anybody expected that. I certainly didn't. I know a couple of people who said they thought it'd be 3-1, but they didn't put the money where their mouth is. So anyone's good in hindsight, aren't they? But let's not digress. The game itself, three goals from the main man again, or he's turning himself into the main man. We'll break that down slightly in a minute. Plenty of efforts on goal, over 20 shots on goal. Plenty of crosses into the box, which is always a good thing in my book. Quick turnover of possession. Very sort of determined performance. Very positive, as I've said. Not messing about. Getting straight at it from the first whistle. We were on the front foot. We didn't give them anything. Was that them? Did we actually stop them from playing because they didn't turn up, or did they just not turn up anyway? But again, I'll come back to that. So let's break the goals down. First goal for me, great finish. It's just another good finish from his repertoire, really. Just again highlighting what a good striker he is. Good movement in the box. He's such an intelligent player, and a good delivery from Downing. Again, I'm going to talk about Downing slightly in a few seconds, a little bit more. Second goal, great assist from Traore. Such a powerful player. We know that. There's nothing new about this, really. I don't think I can tell you guys anything else about this person that we already don't know. What do we do without him in the team? That's a point I'll come back to. But a powerful run, counter-attack. He just makes people look like they're not there. They're invisible to him, really, aren't they? Good layoff. Bad first touch from Bamford, but again he proved, as he did with Sunderland when he had a bad first touch for his goal where Bezic laid him on, that he can still adjust, he can still finish. Went under the keeper, but you know, so what? He could have squared it to Traore, so I'm glad that it did go in, otherwise there'd probably have been hell on there, especially after the effort he'd made to set that goal up. Third goal, again, Traore assist, that's how I'm labelling it. Was it offside, wasn't it? That's a point for you to discuss. We don't think it was. It's hit the defender, obviously, and with the way the rules stand now, that's onside, so we go with that. Bamford had earned that little bit of luck, I think, also, to give it to him also with his performances that he's had in the last few weeks. 3-0 up, game over. So again, let's just backtrack slightly. Did they turn up? I thought it'd be a tough game in my preview. They've got a lot of goals, a lot of good players in that team for a championship team, but they didn't turn up. I think it was a little bit of both. We just got at them straight away. It was a typical, well, what would be a typical Pulis performance, high tempo, plenty of energy, straight at them from the front foot, very aggressive. Likes to get both full backs 20 yards into the opposition's half straight away and just sit back with Gibson and Ayala, just marshalling that halfway line in case there's any breaks, which there wasn't really. Again, I'll come back to that point. There was a couple of chances. So, we're high tempo, we get the goal straight away. Downing had a chance off a shot and cross. Probably should have scored, but he didn't. That's kind of set the agenda for the game, I think. Shot and getting past and getting balls in. Again, great deliveries. Again, I'll come back to that. So we didn't. We waited till the 30th minute. Like I said, Bamford scored. Then we got on the score sheet again. Great two goals to go in at half time. In a solid position. That really then shut them up completely, whether there was going to be anything or not. But like I say, they had a couple of chances. Size and Alioski were not dangerous, but they had a breakaway. Something could have happened. Maybe if that goal had gone in, it would have been different. But it wasn't. So we can't talk about what ifs. As I said, I was going to talk about the assist and break that down slightly. So great crosses into the box all night from everybody. Traore, Downing especially, had his best game for me, I think. Deliveries were second to none, and this is what we expect from Stewie Downing. Corners were brilliant, but again, like I say, his crossing in general was fantastic. Shot again's another one getting past. Great deliveries. So it was a positive result for me. I'm here to break the game down and be realistic about this, and not let myself run away with it. I think if it had been a good performance, as some Boro fans are saying, if they'd have turned up and played and we beat them, we'd have got a level of where we're at. I still don't think we can gauge that. I think 5 games will tell us that. So, as I say, they didn't really do anything. So how can we gauge it as a good performance? It was a positive performance and it was a determined, strong performance. Tony Pulis has said it's the best one since he's come, but that raises a couple of points for me. We're playing a striker down the middle that would never have played there unless Gesteb was injured. Nobody's wanted to put him there since Karanka. He's scoring goals, this guy, that he's never done anywhere else. The goals that he's scoring now in this little spell in the middle are different to any of the goals that he's ever scored before. In his season under Karanka, like I say, when we got the playoff final, his goals were different. They were more around the box, 6 yards. He was getting on the end of things. We were putting more moves together under Karanka. Under a Pulis team, we get the ball. It's a quick sort of turnaround of possession. Get it out wide, percentages, get the ball in the box and get on the end of things. So there's not necessarily moves getting constructed, but I'm all right with that right now because as a Boro fan, I want to be positive and we're getting the results. As I've said before, I've alluded to the long-term future of this club. I don't feel as if it's a Tony Pulis fit. I've mentioned why. Look at the 2 clubs that he's been managers of in the past. Where are they now? Maybe not all his fault. Mark Hughes has been in charge of Stoke in between that, but the guy came in and played a certain way of football. And then they've tried to evolve into footballing teams, both of these, and they couldn't. So is that something to come for Boro? I hope not. Again, I don't want to digress and get bogged down on that point too much. But it was a positive performance. But it was for the goals and it was for the fact that it's kept us up there with the rest of these promotion rivals now, that we're actually in with a shouting chance of doing something or making our season a little bit more positive. But, like I said, 2 things. Bamford, he didn't want to play there. Now he's come across this player and now he's playing really well. Is that a masterstroke from Pulis? That's something for you to talk about. Traore, if we do take Traore out this team, we know we're left with nothing. So although we've got a good supporting cast, as I've mentioned, both the assists from Traore were good. Downing's deliveries and his assists were good. Bezic looked good. Again, intelligent. Gave the ball away a little bit in the first half, but he grew in the second half and he was a bit more clever on the ball. As I've said, Downing had his best game. Shotton looked another positive performance from Shotton. Gibson played well, although I don't feel as if they had much to do, and this just brings me back to my point in general. Was it a good performance based on what they did or what we did? It was a good performance because we got the result, but like I say, I don't know how to gauge it. The next 5 games will tell me that. Let's talk Birmingham. They've just employed Gary Monk. I don't know whether that's a positive. I don't know if it's a negative. And I think the problem with Birmingham in general is that the players they've got there are just not good enough. And Birmingham fans, please get involved in our page. We want this from football fans. Tell us, are your teams good enough? We don't think they are. The league never lies. You're one of the worst teams we've seen at the Riverside this season. You know what? I put you against Leeds and Sunderland so far. I'm not going to go back onto the Leeds conversation, but I'm surprised at that. But Birmingham, genuinely, you've sort of been there all season and you've kind of, the team that you came to the Riverside with is the team that you've ended up with all season. So maybe that's the level of you. But they haven't won in 6, just got beaten against Forest on Saturday. Poor result, 2-1 against Aitor. We know what Karanka's all about. They went there, they went 2-0 up, they shut them out. Like I said, they haven't won in 6. So they've changed the manager. I wouldn't have changed Steve Cotterill. I thought everybody was playing for them. Again, Birmingham fans, let us know what you think. But it looked from the outside in that the guys were playing for Steve Cotterill. It's just a level of quality. So let's break that down slightly even further. They are a direct team. They are a long ball team. They're weak in possession. They struggle against counter-attacks. They struggle against people with ability, i.e. Adama. Anyone with a bit of skill on them, they struggle. But I think anyone's going to struggle against Adama as the Death Star. Nobody can put that guy out of business. So, like I say, they need these points. Gary Monk's took over. What can he do in 24 hours that he couldn't do in 6 months at Boro? Probably nothing. As I've just alluded to, the quality's not there for him to change it either. So he's pretty much stuck with the style of football that they have to play. It's direct, nitty-gritty. But what they are going to give us, Boro fans, and I know I put my head on the chopping block for the Leeds game, is they will give us a game. They have to. If they've got any fight as footballers, they ain't going to let us roll into town and take 3 points off them. I think they're going to fight for everything. Again, like I've just said, the new manager coming in normally does have a little bit of impetus on that squad anyway. That's just a fact in football. We all know that. It's the honeymoon period. What a bad way to start. A good way to start for Monk if he could turn us over. But again, I don't think that would be any reflection on him as a manager. I just think it would be right place, right time, bit of energy, and they need the points. So let's talk about some of the players. Magoma, danger man, 4 goals, 4 assists. Sam Gallagher, Scottish, loves to run in behind, likes to get in the channels, likes to play the ball up to him. He's quite strong, quite tall. Like I say, that suits their direct style of football. They've got Chekun Doy in there as well, who's slightly dangerous. Craig Gardner, that we all know about, has been around for quite a while. Set pieces are awesome. does like to chip in with a few assists. Then in that they've lost, for example, Shotton, who's been a big miss for them. You know, obviously, as we've seen, he's come into the Borough team and looked heads and shoulders above most of the other defenders, to be fair. No one was expecting that. But again, I'm not going to digress. So they've lost a big player in Shotton. They've got Jota there. I think he's injured, but he's a Spanish guy and he's somebody that can score them goals. So what have we got to worry about tomorrow? We need to be as aggressive as we were against Leeds. These are the key fundamentals: aggression, enthusiasm and determined. And we need to be organised, because I didn't allude to this in the talking about the Leeds game, but we were slightly shaky off set pieces still, which is something Tony Pulis is known for sorting out and known for being a manager for. We're still shaky. But again, I'm digressing, it's hard not to. So they're going to be built, they're going to be shaky. Hopefully we're not going to be shaky off set pieces, because Craig Gardner, like I say, can deliver something. We don't want to get beat 1-0 there, do we? But it's going to be scrappy for me. I would take anything there. It's not all about performances. It's about performances when a big team rolls into town and we want to turn them over. But against these little fish, sorry Birmingham, against the teams that are struggling, it's just get in there, wham bam, 3 points and let's get out of there. That's all I'm hoping for. I'm going to be positive as I can, and I'm going to say that I think it'll be a 1-0, probably Bamford. Who else is going to score? But it could quite end up being a draw, so let's hope it isn't. Rob, what's your prediction?
2-0 Boro.
Love it. Like I say, I'm going to stick with 1-0. Let's hope that it is. The bandwagon moves on, then I'll start to believe slightly that maybe we are going to have a good end of the season. Although, as I've said before, my long-term goal with Tony Pulis isn't something that I want. Nothing's changed from my attitude towards Tony Pulis from the Leeds game. It's taken him 2 months to say this has been his best performance, but he's a bit of an impact manager and that hasn't happened up until Leeds, so that's also slightly worrying. But again, I know I'm just sort of digressing and going over all points, but as a Borough fan being optimistic, let's move forward. I would love a positive end of the season and a playoff final, and you know, whether I think we're good enough to stay up, which we aren't, or whether I want us to go. A season in the Premiership isn't going to be that bad. It just means that I'll stop watching Match of the Day from about October, because it'll be depressing. So I'm really ill today and I keep forgetting to tell you stuff. So we've had to do this take 4 times. It'll be on the bloopers video at the end of the season though. We've got a competition. You all know about this now. Two season tickets for next season. Could be Premiership, we've just said. Probably won't be. I hope it is. I don't know. I'm confused. 2 season tickets. Like, share and subscribe. Get on Twitter, get on Facebook, get on YouTube. You need to be one of our followers though, guys. If you're not going to get a chance to win it. So get involved, get on there, let's do it. Peace out. It's in the blood. Up the Borough.